Trust the process and commit yourself to these 7 steps that will change your life for good. Hi, I'm Dr. Lavanya. If you would like to go deeper into this topic, please check out my book on narcissism in intimate relationships. I've shared the link in the description box. Let's begin. In this video, I will share 7 steps to help you dismantle narcissistic control, the kind that constantly works against your professional growth. You don't dismantle the narcissist, you dismantle the control. Today, I'm going to explain why narcissists oppose your growth, how that opposition shows up emotionally and professionally, and most importantly, how to dismantle their control without confrontation, chaos, or self destruction. This is not about fighting them, this is about understanding the system of control so it no longer controls you. Narcissists consistently block you from stepping into your greatness. They often celebrate everyone else, yet quietly and sometimes aggressively oppose your growth. So, why does a narcissist oppose your growth? It is because your growth threatens the foundation of their control. When you grow emotionally, you stop tolerating manipulation. When you grow financially or professionally, you gain options. And gaining options means freedom. A narcissist needs you dependent emotionally, psychologically, and financially. Your independence destabilizes them. At first, when narcissists oppose, it does not look abusive. It looks reasonable. They may say, "You are changing, you are being unrealistic. That job seems risky. Why do you need to work so much? I'm just worried about you." But pay attention to the pattern. Every time you move towards a promotion, a new job, further education, a business idea, or greater responsibility at work, chaos appears, arguments start, support disappears, confidence is questioned. This is not coincidence, this is intentional disruption. One of the most overlooked forms of narcissistic control is professional sabotage. A narcissist may discourage your career goals, belittle your intelligence or skills, create emotional crisis before important meetings, keep you exhausted so you can't perform well, guilt you for working or studying, undermine your confidence right before opportunities. Why? Because your professional success gives you financial independence, self esteem, external validation. Your independence weakens their control. They do not want you powerful in the world, they want you powerful only in service to them. So, what do? First, realize the core truth. You don't dismantle the narcissist, you dismantle the control. Let me be very clear, you cannot change a narcissist. You cannot convince them to support your growth. You cannot earn their approval through achievement. But you can dismantle their influence over your decisions. Control thrives in confusion, and it collapses when you stop seeking permission. The first step to dismantling is awareness. You must recognize the tactics being used against you, such as criticizing you right after you share a good news like a promotion, saying things like, "Are you sure you can handle that? You always mess up." The goal is to make you doubt your own feelings of success. Or they may subtly undermine your career by saying, "Why are you taking that promotion? You will never have time for me if you work so much." Or they may dismiss your achievements. "That's not a big deal. Anyone could do it." Or create crisis or conflicts that always appears when you are about to take an important step forward. For example, a fight starts the day before a big interview or an important presentation, distracting you and shaking your confidence. Or they create constant doubt by repeated questioning of your decisions, instincts, or abilities. They may ask, "Are you sure that's the right choice? Maybe you are overthinking again." Over time, this erodes trust in your own judgment. Once you identify these patterns, you begin to clearly understand that this isn't concern, this is control. For years, you may have felt guilty doubted yourself, or wondered if you were overreacting. Awareness shifts that perspective. Recognizing that the behavior is about control, not care, takes away its emotional grip. Awareness is the foundation of freedom, but awareness alone is not enough. You need a system to remember and respond effectively. Here's a practical method. Keep small notes of your experiences. You don't need to write long stories or maintain detailed diaries. Simply jot down the moment something happened and how it made you feel. For example, told them about my promotion, felt undermined, criticized for my excitement. They questioned my decision to attend the workshop, felt doubt and anxiety. You can do this on your phone, in a notebook, or even in a private note app. The goal is that when you look back after a week or after a few days, you can instantly remember what happened, how it made you feel, the patterns that emerged. Over time, this simple practice trains your mind to recognize repetition immediately, without confusion or self-blame. You start seeing the manipulation clearly the moment it begins, and you can plan your response ahead of time, rather than reacting emotionally in the moment. After a few rounds of journaling, you won't need to write it down anymore. Your mind will automatically recognize the pattern and guide your response. For example, the next time they criticize your work or belittle your ideas, instead of panicking or over explaining, you will notice immediately, this is manipulation again. I won't react emotionally. I will stay calm and protect my focus. This is the power of awareness combined with practice. It trains your mind to respond with clarity and authority, even before the situation escalates. Step 2. The next thing you must do is detach yourself from emotional reactivity. Narcissists feed on your emotions, especially when it comes to your work, goals, and ambitions. They know exactly how to provoke you to gain control. You may notice patterns like provoking you before deadlines to make you anxious, starting fights before interviews or presentations to distract you, or questioning your decisions when focus is critical. When you react emotionally, your energy is drained, your focus is broken, and they gain the control they seek. The most powerful response to any kind of trigger is calm neutrality. Give short, factual answers. Do not defend your ambition. Your goals do not need approval. Do not over-explain your decisions. Your calm denies them access to your energy, leaving them powerless to manipulate or derail you. To strengthen this skill, start small notes or reflections each time a triggering moment occurs. Record the situation, what exactly was said or done that triggered you. Note your reaction, how you responded emotionally or behaviorally. Reflect on what worked and what didn't. Did you maintain neutrality or did you react emotionally? For example, they criticized my presentation before the meeting. I stayed calm and completed it without reacting. Felt empowered and focused. Or you could write, they questioned my decision to take on a new client. I defended myself angrily, felt drained and frustrated afterward. After a few repetitions, this practice becomes second nature. You no longer need to write down every incident. Your mind will immediately recognize the pattern and help you to detach from emotional reactivity. The next time they try to provoke you before a big project, you might instantly think, this is manipulation. I have handled it before calmly. I will stay neutral and focus on my work. Over time, emotional neutrality becomes automatic, protecting your energy, focus, and professional growth without extra effort. The third step is to reclaim your inner authority. Your authority over your time, your goals, your career decisions, and your ambitions. You stop asking, will this upset them? And start asking, is this what I want? Is this aligned with my goals or growth? Is it healthy for me? Your life is not required to stay small to preserve someone else's comfort. Remember, narcissists rely on your self doubt to maintain control. If you question your decisions, hesitate, or constantly seek approval, you give them power. Reclaiming your authority means deciding for yourself without fear, guilt, or the need to justify your choices to them. Don't ask for permission or approval before taking actions related to work, finances, or personal growth. Accept that their discomfort or disagreement does not invalidate your choices. If it is necessary, you can discuss important matters related to areas you are unsure, such as investments or courses, with a trusted friend or someone who has your best interest in mind, and then make your choices. I realized that sometimes people whom we hardly know can give us best advice in some areas because they have nothing to lose, unlike a narcissist. Note that narcissists will interrupt your career decisions. They might ask, "Are you sure you should take that promotion? You will be too busy, and I don't like the boss." If you have not yet reclaimed your authority, you will doubt yourself and cancel the opportunity. And if you have reclaimed your authority, your response would look like somewhat like this: "I have considered this and I am ready to take the promotion. My career growth matters." If the narcissists say, "Why are you going to that workshop? You don't need more skills." If you have not reclaimed your authority, you would argue and over explain, feeling drained. But if you have reclaimed your authority, your response would be, "I am attending because it benefits my growth. That is my decision." Notice how reclaiming authority is not about confrontation, but about clarity, self-respect, and decisive action. Step 4. The next thing that you must do is set boundaries around work and growth. You don't dismantle control by arguing about your career. You dismantle it by protecting it. That means limiting how much you share, not discussing plans prematurely, keeping goals private, creating mental and emotional focus, etc. Narcissists weaponize information, so you move quietly and strategically. Boundaries are your shield against manipulation. Narcissists rely on over access to your emotions, time, and decisions. Without clear limits, they continue to drain your energy, distract your focus, and block your growth. To set boundaries effectively, first identify your limits. Decide what you will and will not tolerate in terms of emotional interactions, professional interruptions, time and energy demands, and personal decisions. Communicate clearly and calmly. Boundaries do not need to be explained in detail. A simple statement is enough. For example, "I won't discuss work-related matters right now. I need to focus on my project." Stick to your limits consistently. Narcissists often test boundaries. The moment you waver, control returns. Consistency teaches your mind and the narcissist that your limits are non-negotiable. Protect access to sensitive areas of your life. Limit what they know about your career goals, finances, or personal plans. Keep key information private until your position is secure. Let's see some examples of how to put boundaries in action. If the narcissists say, "Why are you working late again? You should spend more time with me." If you do not have a boundary set, you will cancel your work or feel guilty and your productivity suffers. But if you have a boundary, you will say, "I have deadlines to meet. I will spend time with you after my work is complete." Another example. The narcissist might say, "You can't hang out with your friends. I don't like them." Without a boundary, you would cancel plans or feel guilty. But with boundary, you would say, "I value my friendships and will see them. I can still prioritize your and our time together as well." Or when the narcissist would say, "Why did you take that course? You don't need it." Without a boundary, you will second guess yourself and cancel. But with boundary, you would say, "I decided to take that course because it benefits my growth. That's my decision." Notice how clear boundaries protect your energy and reinforce your authority. They also minimize opportunities for manipulation. Setting boundaries is not about confrontation. It's about self protection, focus, and reclaiming your space both emotionally and professionally. Step 5. The next step is expect escalation, especially when you succeed. Once you have learned to see patterns, detach emotionally, reclaim authority, and set boundaries, you must prepare for the next stage, that is escalation. Narcissists rarely give up control quietly. The moment you start asserting yourself, maintaining boundaries, or pursuing growth, they often intensify their behavior. Escalation can take many forms, such as guilt tripping. They would say, if you really loved me, you wouldn't be doing this. Or playing the victim by saying, I am the one suffering because you are changing. Or by criticism or sabotage, by highlighting your mistakes to shake your confidence. Or provoking emotional reactions by arguing, interrupting, or creating last minute conflicts. The goal of escalation is simple: to break your calm, doubt your decisions, and regain control. Or they may accuse you of neglect, compete with you, minimize your achievements. Remember, resistance is often strongest right before independence. Your success feels threatening to them because your success proves something dangerous to your narcissist, that you never needed their control to thrive in the first place. Your confidence exposes their insecurity, and that your competence removes their leverage. Your growth reminds them of their stagnation. So they try to pull you back into the old version of yourself, unsure, exhausted, apologetic, and distracted. But that version was not your true self. That was survival mode. Let this settle deeply. Your growth is not betrayal. Your ambition is not selfish. Your success is not abandonment. A healthy partner celebrates your progress. A controlling one competes with it or hinders it. To respond effectively against escalation, you should first recognize it as a pattern, not as a personal attack. Mentally label it, saying, this is escalation, they are trying to regain control. Maintain emotional neutrality. Do not argue or over explain. Stick to your boundaries. Respond with clarity, not defensiveness. For example, when they are guilt tripping you, you would say, I understand your feelings, but my decision is final. Or when they are passing a criticism, you would say, thank you for your input. I will consider it, but I will proceed with my plan. Or if they provoke you, you would say, I'm focusing on my work right now. We can discuss this later. Journaling and practice is a good way to keep yourself in track against the narcissist. To strengthen your response to escalation, write down the triggering incident and your initial reaction. Note what you could have done it differently using neutrality and boundaries. Rewrite the scenario with your empowered response and see what happens. Step 6. The next step is rebuilding what was suppressed: your talents, your confidence, and vision. Now that you have seen the patterns of manipulation, detached from emotional reaction, reclaimed your inner authority, you have set boundaries, you have expected escalation without losing focus. The next step is to reconnect with the parts of yourself that the narcissist tried to suppress. Narcissists often block growth, belittle achievements, and undermine talents. Over time, this can leave you feeling doubtful about your abilities, confused about your goals, disconnected from your talents, hesitant to pursue opportunities. Rebuilding what was suppressed is about restoring your identity, confidence, and dreams, both personally and professionally. So, how to rebuild what was suppressed? First, reconnect with your passions and talents. Make a list of your skills, hobbies, and interests that the narcissist minimized or discouraged, and reconnect with them. Example: I used to love painting, but they said it was a waste of time. I will spend 30 minutes a week painting again. Set small and achievable goals. Reintroduce activities that build confidence, like start a personal project, apply for a course, or even reconnect with your old friends. To strengthen this process, record small wins each time you reconnect with these abilities. For example, in a journal, you can write, um, I stopped exercising regularly because they said it was silly. I started a 20-minute daily workout. I felt energized, confident. I noticed all fear of judgment fading. Or you can write, I stopped applying for promotions after they criticized my ambition. I applied for a new position and got an interview. I felt empowered and capable, even before the result. After repeated practice, reconnecting with your suppressed skills and dreams becomes natural. You no longer need permission, validation, or approval to pursue your growth. As narcissistic control weakens, you begin to reconnect effectively with confidence, focus, creativity, professional clarity, and long term vision. This can feel unfamiliar at first because growth after suppression feels strange. But discomfort is not danger, it is awakening. Rebuilding what was suppressed is a transformative step. It's where you begin to see yourself fully, reclaim confidence, and feel motivated to pursue your dreams, even if the narcissist tries to resist it. The last step is choosing yourself consistently. Choosing yourself means prioritizing your growth, well being, and goals, even when the narcissist protests, disapproves, or tries to derail you. It is the ultimate act of reclaiming control over your life. So, how to choose yourself consistently? First, prioritize your needs and goals. Make decisions based on what is best for you, and not to appease a narcissist. For example, scheduling time for personal development instead of canceling for their comfort, or choosing a new course, project, or hobby that aligns with your goals despite their disapproval. Every time you prioritize yourself, acknowledge the courage and clarity it required. Celebrate your choices. After repeated practice, choosing yourself becomes automatic. You no longer need to justify your actions or seek approval. The moment a decision arises, your mind guides you towards what aligns with your growth and well being. Choosing yourself consistently is a culmination of the previous 6 steps. It is the point where your boundaries are firm, your inner authority is solid, your suppressed skills and passions are restored, and your focus and emotional neutrality protects your growth. At this stage, the narcissist control loses its grip entirely, and you are free to pursue your goals, career, and personal growth without guilt, doubt, or manipulation. Trust the process and commit yourself to these 7 steps that will change your life for good. If you like the video, please press the like button. I will see you all in my next video. Until then, take care and bye.